Hello, welcome, everyone. We have a special show today at a special time. We have a, let's say special again, special
I
guest.
am special.
You are special. Michelle Hibbert, life coach extraordinaire. I'm going to tell you all about her, how I met her, how we work together. And then this topic is all about how Michelle I say your name all the time.
It's okay.
How Michelle gained more clients in her business using personal branding. Specifically, we really focused on like your offer and your messaging. And I really am, I was a stickler from day one about the offer, about the message. And so I wanted to do this because I don't usually talk about my business as much or the business services that I provide. So I wanted to share with everyone how you can take the information that I'm giving you all and apply it to your business and have success in 2025. And you were having success in 2024 too. In 2024, right? Because people are like, this is a crazy time, which we know, but there's still time to be successful.
Mhm.
So, welcome. If you all are new, welcome. I'm Latrice Huff, career and leadership coach to ambitious women of color. And it is my mission and my movement to put more women of color in leadership roles and to put more money in the hands of women of color. I help you increase your salary and increase your revenue by improving your personal brand. And today, the special, look, VIP. VIP,
Oh
very special
yes.
guest is Michelle Hubert. And not I like to call her, she is the badass Brit girl, which I love, which just means she is giving it to you raw, unfiltered, straight up, no, no chaser, the way you need it. Like you've given me tips in my business. She
Oh,
is
okay.
amazing. You have. We talked about that. I was like, you've helped me. And I will say, working with you has been a joy because you're someone, you tell me how you feel, which I love. And I'll be like, well, let's just try it. And you do the work. And
Mm.
you take the advice and the coaching that I give you and you make it your own. So what if we start there? I
Yeah.
have your bio. I was gonna read it, but I was like, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing me and doing something special. Um, so, originally from the UK, hence the reason the badass Brit girl, because I feel like I am a badass. Um, my gosh, I'm so old. Um, I am a teacher by trade. So, my what I went to college for, physical education and health teacher. So, wellness is very, very important to me. And kind of transitioned quite a few times in my career, but decided to obviously retire from teaching. Was also doing personal training, but then decided, okay, I'm done with the teaching. Let me do something different. And dabbled in a few things, dabbled in some direct sales, dabbled in some travel, worked for a big corporation with travel. But also in between that was just like, I like coaching.
Mhm.
And, during that transition time, I actually needed a life coach myself. So I had to seek help and love the way that my life coach kind of got me back to who I was, because when I retired from teaching, I
Mhm.
got married, became a bonus mom, and then opened all these businesses and was kind of running myself ragged
Mm.
and just lost myself in that whole big picture. And she helped me get myself back together again, shall I say, kind of like Humpty Dumpty. And it was just great because she was in the health and wellness field. She'd like done boot camps and stuff like that. So that's how we kind of vibed. And
Mhm.
then I was just shocked on what she did for me. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, wow, I can do this for other women. and, you know, bringing in my physical education and health background and my personal training background, I kind of merged all that together.
Mhm.
So my coaching is around wellness, and it's the 6 elements of wellness and how they can affect you every single day, and people don't realize
Yeah.
it. And that's kind of the main thesis of my coaching.
I love that.
So yeah, and when did I open my business? It's been 4 years. Again, it's
Mhm.
been steady. You know, it's still growing. And I know people say, you know, after 3 years, people, you know, close their businesses and everything like that. But I'm kind of very persistent because I'm a badass. And I'm like, no, this is going to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. And I have to learn new things. And
Mhm.
if someone had told me, you know, this is how you run a business at the
Mhm.
beginning of when I first opened a business, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's too much. Let me let me go back. Let me go back and get a go back and get a job. Go back to teaching.
I tell people that so much. Like, don't give, I am a firm believer in having your own business and creating your own future and creating your own income. And in saying that, we don't always realize that when you have a business and just starting, and most of us, we're going to be starting with either just ourselves or one other person. You're now doing every single role versus when you're working, you're like, okay, I'm just the account manager. You have that one title.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing two. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm doing 2 or 3 roles, maybe. But when you're a business owner, you're doing like 6, 7 to 10 roles simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be challenging if we continue to have an employee mindset as an entrepreneur. Right. So
Yes.
I see that a lot when people come to me. And I think I told you, like, you're doing too much. You're doing a
We
lot.
did. And we scaled back some
Mhm.
things.
Yes.
So, you know, it's kind of like you need someone again,
Mhm.
it's good to have the help
Mhm.
because things have changed. You know,
Mhm.
my first, when did I open my first business? 2016.
Wow.
We're nearly 10 years. You know, things have changed. You know, promoting your business,
Yeah.
you know, branding, logos, social
Mhm.
media, all the marketing that comes with it, has all changed over that time.
This
And you
is
can't be stuck in the 2006 world because it's not going to work right now.
You cannot. And I think this is so good because so many people right now are starting their businesses. And you are correct on that stat that a lot of people stop their businesses within 3 years. In
Mhm.
fact, um, Black women and women of color in America are the top group to start businesses. So we start businesses faster more than any other group. We are also the highest group or segment that closes their business within their 3-year time frame. And I think what you hit on is exactly why, because we don't anticipate all the things that are involved in a business. It's so many conflicting messages out there. It's so
Oh,
many different strategies. Yeah, some people is like 6 steps to 6 figures, and I'm gonna tell you now, it's more than 6 steps, right? Or people's like, I hit 6 figures within my first 5 months, and you can too with just hard work. It's like, but you got a loan for like 500,000, right? So it's not always the same. I think
mhm.
we can have different struggles, even going into it with the best intentions. Like, I want freedom, I want flexibility, I want to help other people the way I was helped. And
Mhm.
that was my reasoning for starting my business. Is I was transitioning in life, getting married, but I also wanted to use my skills to help others. Did not realize how challenging it was going to be.
Mhm.
But I will go back to, I think understanding that simplifying is a must, is a must, is a must. So I know so many people out there are starting their businesses right now or looking to start a business really soon. And I speak to a lot of women who have businesses and who have never done anything with them. They're like, I just have the LLC. I just started it, and they want to get everything in line before they open the doors.
Oof.
Tell me, like, what made you say, like, hey, Latrice, I want some help with my business?
I mean, I knew that I knew I was doing something right,
Mhm,
but then I was like, I know I'm close. I know I'm close.
mhm,
I know I've got my messaging. Maybe I need to tweak my messaging, but something, again, I'm an overachiever. I I want to see success. I'm a teacher. I do the research, and then I'm just like, all right, what's not working? There's something not working, and I just needed another set of eyes
Mhm.
and some help. And working with you and saying, we got to kind of tweak your messaging because
Mhm.
it's a little bit confusing. And then I think we created kind of like a solid focus of, yes, you're going to focus on women and you're going to focus on these emerging adults. And
Mhm.
actually, the women may have the emerging adults. So, you
Mhm.
may be helping these families. And I didn't put those two together
Mhm.
because I kind of separated them.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, it was the offer and just the messaging and what I was saying. It wasn't kind of resonating, but now it's resonating because I'm getting clients. So that's just been an eye opener. But
Mhm.
again, if I hadn't have reached out and gotten the help,
Mhm.
I'd still probably be spinning my wheels. And I probably also think that if people don't get the help, that's probably why they close down their businesses.
Mm. That's so good. That is so. I'm like, maybe we should have changed the title to like how to keep your business going.
I
you,
mean,
you're
seriously,
so
but
right. What?
you have to get the help because, I mean, as you said, you're a one man or a one woman show, one man show, whatever business you have. You're probably doing all your accounting. You are probably doing all your social media marketing. You are then going to networking events and sowing your seeds, and then you're trying to be a partner, mum, a daughter, a sister, and it gets a lot. And sometimes it's like, well, I don't have the money, I'm not making enough money. So you kind of have to work out what you can cope with. And I know it sounds silly, but what was I doing? I was doing a newsletter every single week, and you were just kind of like, that's just too much. And so I did. I cut it down, and I'm just like,
I just remember when you came to me. Yes, you were doing a lot, and I was like, "Why are we doing this?" I think I
yeah.
was like, "Do you like doing it?" And because I think the teacher in you and like the scholar in you was very much like, I was told to do this before, or I heard to do this before, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, we need action with intention. Action with intention will help you get to the goal. And sometimes when you set the intention first, you realize you don't need all the actions, or you don't need them as frequent.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's, I think I was like, hey, we can keep the newsletter, but do you need to do it every week? How
Every
often are
week,
you doing your newsletter now?
twice a week, and I'm thinking of doing it once a month now. In my head, I'm just like, maybe I should go down to once a month, and I'm okay with that. But
Mm-hmm.
again, people, you hear, as you said, there's a lot of noise, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to be very conscious of your energy and the noise and who's pulling you where and everything. But I'm kind of like in my zone of like, okay, these people don't resonate with me, and I don't believe
Mm-hmm.
this. And I was told you got to keep in front of people all the time, and you got to write a newsletter every week. And then you said, but why? You're posting. Why can't we go down to, twice a month? And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, why can't we? We can. We can. We could easily do it.
Mm-hmm.
And my numbers haven't dropped.
Mm-hmm.
My open rates haven't dropped. They're still close to 40%.
Mm.
So I'm kind of like, all right, I'm taking some things off my plate. And you
Yeah.
know what? I help other people do that. So even though Latrice helped me, I help other people take things off their plate as well. So you see how this
But
kind of goes
it
full
does.
circle.
I tell people I needed a coach. I hired my first like coach when my mom got sick. And it was like, I mean, they're gonna close this business and take care of my mom full time, or I have to figure out how to increase because I needed more money because my mom didn't have a lot of savings. She had a terminal illness. I had to care for her. I had the most, at the time I had the most flexible schedule. between me and my sisters, but I still lived in another state. I had a toddler, and I was
Mm.
like, 5 + 5 ain't not 1 and 2. The math wasn't mathing. And I am a thinker, I'm an analyzer, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, I need some help. So my first coach kind of gave me the same thing. She was like, right now, you're doing a lot because you have these personal things. How can you keep the same income? This was the rationale. Keep the same income with the doing less work. And I was like, biatch, you tripping. Like that does not doesn't make sense, right? And I had to sit with that. And for me, it was going down to one thing. So I sold one service, one product for 1 year. And it was during 2020. Like my mom got diagnosed, I want to say like January 2020, like
Oh,
before 2020
or
hit.
COVID. Woo.
So right before, it was like rumors. Remember, it was like, what? It was like,
Mhm.
we're not going to shut down. That's not going to happen to us. It was like doing that.
Watch what happens.
And and so that added this extra layer because then I didn't have daycare for my son. Like
Right.
and travel was being restricted between states, and she would have to go to the hospital. So it simplifying that whole experience of simplifying showed me that I could get very, very clear. Only talk to specific people, sell them a specific thing that works within my lifestyle, and I'm still helping them get results. And
Right.
I did that for a year. And that was the best thing. And so it changed my whole thought process. I was like, holy smokes. So I made nearly 6 figures that year, while I think I may have worked like 50 hours a month, because I just couldn't, between the travel and my son. Like once we hit 2020, the daycare shut down. And so in having that experience and seeing it, and then seeing the opposite, because my mother worked hard all her life. My mother had a government job, then she had a business. I've seen so many people around me and so many brilliant women work hard all of their life, and I was out earning them. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. So I started sharing it with my clients. I was sharing it with my friends. I was like, I can make that. I can show other people. So when you came to me, I was like, Michelle, great, you're doing amazing. I was like, but you're doing way too much. I was like, we got to focus on the results. And you wanted like consistent clients. That's what you wanted, right? Or what was it in your words? What was it that you wanted?
More clients.
More
That's what I said. More clients.
clients.
That's
Yes.
it.
It's like just more clients. And the thing was, you had some great ideas, and you had a lot, but it was some superstars in there. And the one with emerging adults, and then the women, I was like, well, I've never heard of that. Like, you always hear people working with other groups or men or women, but emerging adults, how did you come up with that?
You know what? It was it was by chance, because one of my friends, she knew that I was doing life coaching, and she just called me and she said, I need you to help my son. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So she said, he's graduated from college, and he didn't do his internships, and he wants to be a sports journalist, and he just doesn't know where to start or what to do. Plus, he wants to move out of home, but's got no money and everything like that. So I was just like, okay. And so then I'm, whilst I was coaching, I was like, all right, I got to find a name for this population. And I think I used Chat GPT, to be perfectly honest. Not going to make up some stories like, oh yes, it came to me at night. No, I think I used Chat GPT. Can't even say it. Chat GPT
Oh my
to
goodness.
say, I need this word. I need something that people are going to resonate and understand, because people are saying, oh, but he's a failure to launch kid. And I'm just like, he's not a
Oh
kid.
yes, yes,
He's
yes.
not
The
a
failure
kid.
to launch.
He's an
Yes,
adult.
yes,
He's an
yes.
adult. And so when it came up with the emerging adult, I was like, that's perfect. And, it was great. I'll say he was my beta test, but it was great just to see, because again, it just took me back to kind of school and, when I was, because I taught middle school and high school. So I was teaching all the hormones and everything, and, their brains haven't developed, and their brains still haven't developed when they come out of college. So I was just like, oh, okay, it's just talking to like a high school student. Even though they've gone to college, they've drank more, they've put on the freshman 15. I mean, what's really changed? They've done some more classes. Nothing's really changed. But it was good to see the changes that happened with him, because he, was lacking confidence in himself. He was comparing himself to all of his friends. He was just kicking himself for not doing the internships. But again, it was during COVID that he, that he was going to school. So, it was a bit of challenge there. But just to see the kind of transition that happened from the beginning to the end was just kind of like amazing. And I'm just like, okay, this kind of shows to me, like, she was just like, I kind of need help for myself, but I want to give it to my son too. And I'm just like, okay, so let's just go with it. And I'm just like, all right. So I'm still, the spark was like, okay, so I'm still attracting women, but now it's kind of, it can be for them or it can be for their kid. But yeah, we got him a job. He was an introvert. Like, he was cool with his friends, but, and when it came to sports journalism, he was okay, interviewing coaches and players and stuff like that. But when it came to like having conversations with just people, that was the thing. So I kind of had to put it into kind of layman's terms of him being a sports journalist, of okay, because he was working in a
Uh-oh. Did you freeze?
Coach.
Okay.
Or a player. And you're just in to find out what they want.
Okay. Michelle, on my end, you're freezing a little bit. I see we've got some people watching. Let me, did Michelle freeze on your end as well? Let me know.
Can you see me?
I can see you now. It froze a little bit.
Oh.
Okay.
Technology.
There we go. There we go.
Technology. So trying to get him to think these people are just coaches and athletes that you're going to interview to find out what they want. That triggered his mind, and then he became the top salesperson.
Wow.
And then got promoted. So I was kind of like, wow, this is, I mean, again, I have my sports background, so it was very easy to kind of have that connection with him. And I'm so proud because I think either his mom or he texted me and told me after we'd finished coaching and, that he got himself a job in Iowa as a sports journalist. What? And so I was just like ecstatic. I was like, do you need me to write you a reference? Tell me what you need, because I'm still here to help, even though, we've finished coaching doesn't mean that it's like one and done, like, bye. Like, I still want to know what happens and what your progress is happening. So the fact that you told me that, I was just ecstatic.
Wow. And I remember you telling me that story. I don't think you told me the ending part of like, he's got this job in Iowa. That was my first time hearing that. Yeah. So this went from someone who was like, no prospects, like introverted, just leaving college, which most people don't look at as a segment. Right. Or niche to kind of go after. But what you saw and what we discussed was that if they don't have the funds, it's the parents who are, kind of footing the bill and paying for it, right? So then you're talking to two people. You're talking to the parents mostly, because they're going to be paying, and the emerging adult, so how do you define emerging adult, just for people out there listening who may be like, this is so interesting. I think I live an emerging adult in my basement, like over my couch.
I mean, as I say to people when I go network, I was like, do you have someone that's collecting dust in your basement or upstairs in their bedroom that's come back from college and is just doing nothing and not contributing? And people's like, oh my God, yes. And I'm like, okay. But then there are also other things that these emerging adults are lacking, which is social skills.
Mm,
And so I kind of have to kind of work on those social skills as well,
okay.
because that's going to be important going out into the world. And it's so funny because one of the clients that I've got right now, I actually took her out on a networking. So I introduced her to someone that was in her the profession that she wants to go in, and I'm like, all right, we're going to practice these questions, and you're going to ask this lady, and she was very nervous. I was like, you don't need to be nervous. Just think of it as Michelle's friend. She's just my friend, but we're networking. So, she may give you some other people to go network with. But again, I had to kind of prep and get her ready for that. And some of these emerging adults don't know how to do that.
Wow. This is so good. Okay, so yes, someone did say, let me see. So, okay, Sharifa did say it was frozen a little bit on your part. But I want to know, before I get into my next question, do you are out there watching, what questions do you have for Michelle, for myself or Michelle? If you're someone who you're thinking about starting your business, or you have your own business and you're like, I need to get more clients, right? What questions do you have? Now is your time. We're going to do like maybe 5 more minutes, but I want to make sure that we, address the people watching. And if you're watching the replay, #replay, you can still put in your questions and comments.
Yeah,
I will say, like, live, we'll have maybe like between 5 to 15 people, but then on the replay, it'll be like 300 people watch the replay. Yeah, so
wow.
you get a lot of people watching the replay, Michelle.
See, you're famous, obviously. You're
Am I famous? I appreciate everyone who watches. I don't know if 300 is famous, but I love it.
Zero. Better than zero.
Yeah,
Right?
I get people who message me. They're a very engaging network. I'll say that. So, all right, I want to just get to the question. How would you define like how the program or how the coaching helped you get more clients?
Oh, it sounds silly, but you kind of gave me more confidence about myself. Because as a business owner, it's harder out on these streets, trying to promote yourself and trying to, have your elevator speech and have this and have your mission statement and have this and this and this. But, it just gave me more confidence of how I can approach people and hearing the no's, because obviously we hear the no's. And that was another thing that Latrice helped me with, because she's like, no, you're saying too much to these people. They don't appreciate you. They don't want your services, and just leave them. And I'm just kind of like, okay. So that was a pill to swallow. But now I'm kind of like, okay, cool. You don't want my services. It's okay. Because, your emerging adult is going to spend more money. You're going to spend more money on them. And your job is you want to get them out of the house, but I'm too expensive. Okay, that's fine. They're the most expensive people, not me. Because I'm sure you're probably, looking after their insurance on their car, paying their gas,
phone bill, like
phone bill, health insurance,
food bill.
I'm just trying to think what else.
Just like, yes.
You add it up for the month, so again, you gave me the confidence to kind of work on the no's, but then accept the no's and be like, okay, I'm here for you if you need me.
Yes.
And some people have said yes. So when they say yes, I'm kind of like, wonderful. And again, my messaging, I've gotten better at my messaging. But as always, LinkedIn is changing its algorithm, and so is Instagram, and so is, Facebook. So again, just trying to keep up with that. And sometimes it can be tiring because I do most of my social media myself. So, but I allocate days. That's how I structure it. So again, it's not too much. But yeah, I would say the confidence and the messaging And those were the big takeaways. And I even said when I came on here, I was like, I miss talking to you. I miss, like, I miss having these conversations.
I
And
miss it too.
it was great coaching.
Thank you. Michelle, you were a great client because and we came up with the brand of the Badass Brit because Michelle is like very honest, not in a brutal way. Like, not, how people say like brutally honest. I wouldn't say that, but you'd be like, no. I'd be like, well, wait a minute. And then you'd be like, okay, I'll try. Like, so, but I like that because I knew where you stood, and I may have to come a different way versus somebody's like, okay, I'm going to do something that doesn't work for them.
Right.
So, and I told you that before. I was like, I really valued that. And it made my job a whole lot easier because I didn't have to guess like what you were thinking or what was going on. You'd be like, I don't like that. Or I do like this. Or that's good. Or let's refine it.
But I also like the fact that you were just like, Michelle, like, what are you doing? So I needed that person to kind of say, you know what? No, we're not doing it. We're going to go this way. Like,
it was like the Badass Brit girl meeting the Baltimore City girl. I was like, I get it. And what we doing, girl? Like, what we really doing though?
And that's what I needed, and that's what I need in a coach. Because I need someone's like, nah, I'm so sorry. I got to stop you there. I got to stop you there. And I'm going to question you on why you're doing this. Just like I do with my clients. I do exactly the same. So I need I need me for me. That makes sense. And retreat was me to kick my butt to get to where I needed to go.
And you're doing it. And remember, and I will say this, it was two things that I remember. It was the messaging and the offer. Because to me, you already came off confident. So it was interesting to hear you say that. So I was like, the messaging, yes, and the offer. I really remember us like going to the board.
You kept on saying the offer, and I was just kind of like, oh my God, she keeps on saying this. Why am I not getting it? And then all of a sudden it just clicked, and I'm just like, okay, now I get it.
Yes. And I think from there was like, you were like, it was more refined. You're like, I don't need to do all these things. I know who I'm talking to. I know the messaging. I know my offer. So then I don't need to be, not saying you were doing this, but essentially throwing spaghetti at the wall. It was more like refined. And then you could just rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And when you do that, it's easier because things will inevitably change, right? Like you said, LinkedIn is going to change, Instagram algorithm, the way people open the emails. Like if you all sent emails like a few months ago, Google redid this whole thing. What happens to the emails? Did you know that?
No. See, as I say, you just see me roll my eyes like, seriously? And that's why it's important. You have to keep up with what's going on and all the changes. And yes, it can be tiring. It can be exciting too. But yes, it's a lot of work. But I'm still not going to give it up.
Yes, I always tell people it's definitely worth it. And one thing being an entrepreneur and a business owner has taught me is that consistency has its own definition. Like I will say the first 6 months of the year, I probably was not as consistent as I needed to be with things. But on the outside, people were like, you're showing up live every week. In my mind, I'm like, I actually skipped some weeks, right? But they're like, you showed up. You were like, showing up like consistency can have this new thing. So I wasn't like posting every day. I've gotten more into it now, but my daughter had some health challenges in the beginning of the year. And so things have to things have to go to the back burner. Priorities. But you can set your own pace for consistency. Yeah. When you simplify and you know your message, your market, and your offer, that's it. Those are like the three components. And you like, if I don't do I always be like, if I don't do anything else, for me, it was going live because going live is easy. For you, what's that easy thing for you? I always think like, I have a thought, but I want to hear what's easy for you to do.
You know what's getting easier for me is actually writing social media posts and newsletters. Oh my God, I used to spend hours.
Really?
I used to spend hours, but it's getting easier because I'm able to kind of connect like everyday things to what's happening coaching wise and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes. I see your LinkedIn post. I was thinking that. I was like, your LinkedIn post, your emails have always been great. It was just you were doing it so often. You're doing it so often. But I was like, to me, you're really consistent with your newsletter because, yeah, you do that twice a month. And then your LinkedIn post, I see you on LinkedIn all the
time.
So
And it's only 3 times a week.
And it's only, that's so interesting. And it's only 3 days a week. Oh, Yolanda says she loves it. Yes. So I want you, and can you tell them about your, like, you do work, right? Can you tell them about that too? Like your kind of lifestyle, I'll say that.
My lifestyle. So yes, I mean, I still have a full-time job. And I'm on my lunch break. Haha. So yeah, but I'm very good with my time. I time manage to make sure that I can add my business. Like I only see clients certain hours during the week. So I'm very strategic about blocking out my time. So yeah, I mean, I balance it.
You balance. You do a really good job because I remember it was in the beginning when we first started working together. It was like, I'm doing all this stuff and I don't have any clients. To now it's like, I've got clients. I got a full-time job.
Seriously, I see my clients only certain days of the week.
So and we talked about that. So I'm going to leave you all with this because we have some people watching. And thank y'all for joining. Come in, chime in, let us know what type of business you have or what type of business you want to start. But I will say this, and it's going to sound like, Latrice, how am I supposed to do this? You really have to disconnect that employee from entrepreneurial mindset. They're different. So even for me, when I started, and especially I didn't start in 2020, but I feel like 2020 was like the shift, I always say, because again, I had my mom who was terminally ill. I had COVID. The world was doing its thing. My son, who's a toddler, who was home with me, who does not have a demeanor conducive to a work at home mom, right? I will say that. I will say that. It's not his temperament, right? And doing all those things, I would take calls during his nap time. We had a very structured nap time. I had a set schedule when I would see my mom around her chemo treatments, right? I don't know if people know, but like the day after chemo is actually okay because they give them a steroid. It's the time after. So I had times when I'm traveling, when I see her, I didn't see clients. And typically in coaching, people will see their clients every week. I made my schedule bi-weekly. I still go by a bi-weekly schedule. So I want you all to know and kind of take from Michelle what she's saying is that you can make this work within your lifestyle. And personal branding is about you, your lifestyle. When we came up with the Badass Brits was amazing. It was so you, so honest, so raw, but also so helpful. And that's what you're doing. So I just wanted to say thank you. You are amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. Can you tell us, wait a minute, are you frozen, Michelle?
No.
Okay, it's showing frozen, but I can hear you.
No, I don't want to be frozen.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
So can you tell us kind of what you have going on now, like the type of clients you're accepting and where we can find you and connect with you?
Yeah. Am I still frozen?
Yes, but we're going to work it out.
I don't like that. So sorry, everyone. Yeah, so actually today I just launched a back to school one-on-one coaching program. So this is for any woman who wants to kind of get themselves back on track because the kids have gone or going back to school and you kind of feel that you are ready to, take control of your life again. Because I've been there where you're just doing things for everyone else. And it's just like, well, what about me? We can put a plan together to get you on the straight and narrow. And also I have a podcast that I do with 2 other life coaches and you said it earlier, Life Coaches Unfiltered. So I am unfiltered.
Okay. Can you send me I don't think I had that. Can you send that to me and I'll put it in the comments too?
I sure
I'll
can.
make it so everybody can see it.
And we are on all platforms, so Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, YouTube. So I'll send you that. And I've got some things in the pipeline. even though Latrice may say you're doing too much, but I'm not really doing too much. So I'm in the process of putting a retreat together. If people live in Georgia, I'm putting a retreat together. I'm possibly it's gonna be me and possibly a business coach. So, if you're thinking about wanting to open a business, maybe you come along to our retreat. It's gonna be cool. I normally just rent out a house for a weekend and we kind of help you feel good about yourself, get your confidence back up, find out what's really important to you. And again, I'm probably going to bring business coach in because I know there are quite a few people who want to open businesses. So she could probably help with, getting you ready. And then next year, I'm looking to do kind of like a sisterhood trip for people who are always waiting for those girlfriends like, yeah, let's do a trip. And I'm kind of like, no, I'm going to put this trip together. And I am really leaning towards going to Belize, to a resort that I've been to before, and it's amazing. So I am going to be putting that together possibly for March, April time of next year. So that's also.
Yeah, I think I told you that I will be going to Belize with you.
So yeah, so I'm excited with those things because again, when I hear women's like, I want to travel and I don't have anyone to travel with, I'm like, all right, well, I can put a group together. I've done travel, guys, so that's why I know how to do this. I just wanted to put that out there. And so yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. But I am accepting clients. Only a few though. Only a few.
She's exclusive. Only
yeah. And I'm giving a great offer as well. So, it's kind of like snooze or you lose.
Okay.
I think I've got like $1,500 off my coaching. So
what, 1,500? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? So if your kids are going back to school and you're a mom and you're feeling like underwhelmed, you want some support, you want to make some changes in your life, reach out to Michelle Hubert, life coach. You're on LinkedIn and I'll put your LinkedIn profile in there. Anywhere else that you play that people can find you?
I'm on Facebook, so you'll find me under Michelle Hibert LLC, and then on Instagram, I'm Michelle H.Life Coach. And I can put that all in the chat if you need me to send that to you.
Oh, yeah, put it in the chat because I put the podcast, Life Coaches Unfiltered, but I didn't put the link. But I just want to make sure that anyone who's interested, who wants to learn more about you or your services, they can contact you. It has been amazing getting to know you overall. This has been a great conversation.
I know.
I'm definitely going to have you back. You made it so easy.
I don't mind coming back. I've been invited to many people's podcasts and stuff, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's been fun." So
it is.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, you're easy because you just go in.
Yep.
Even when you were frozen, you were still talking.
This is me, the badass brick girl.
It was good. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yes, if you can put all the information in the comments, and then we'll also send it out via email so everyone can have your information. And thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.